I think, yeah, I agree with everyone. A mix of both is always a good idea, but I think anyone who's taken on the challenge of becoming a community manager for a brand or business needs to be aware that it's not a 9 to 5 job. It's 24/7, it's all the time. So, I mean, if you think you can manage your Facebook page, you know, clock off at 5:30 on a Friday and come back to it at 9 AM on a Monday, no.
I think you need to look at, just saying, is it in-house or agency? I think you need to look at the skills of in-house and the skills of whether agency you're going to get on board as well. I'm aware of some agencies who jumped onto this a year or so ago, and their insight hasn't moved on in that past year. So they were fantastic, maybe it's setting up a Facebook page for you, a Twitter account, maybe give you some basic training. But as I presume most people in this room can pretty much do that for themselves now, or at least the basics, then they're going to need someone who may be a bit more insightful than these other people. So I think you need to look at what skills you've got in-house and what skills your agency is going to offer and what you need to get from it.
Any questions? Anybody got any questions?
Yeah, I've dipped my toe in the water with social media advertising. I mean, I run a tiny business through eBay, and that's my channel to market. And my sales were poor. I went to a business link course that sort of showed me how to get started. And I started doing on Facebook advertising, and suddenly my sales are up 15-fold. I'm selling 15 times more. I've tried Twitter. Twitter I find very hard, but I keep plugging away at it. I've realised you can't directly sell on Twitter, but I'm getting to the stage now where I think, right, what's my next step? Where do I go from here? I'm the tiny businessman, so I'm not got a big brand. I actually sell gadgets to charge mobile phones, mostly to people who go to pop festivals because they run off batteries. GoAnywhereChargers.com if you want to come in. But no, seriously. Seriously, what's my next step is my question.
So, did you say tyres? You've got tyres?
No, chargers.
Any additional panel?
I've just kind of picked something from the end of the last bit. I think, you know, when we're talking about should you as a business owner be interested in social media, of course you should, and you're doing it yourself. I think the same question will be, should business owners be interested in analytics? Should they be interested in media planning and the different models of, you know, kind of affiliate marketing and all those kind of things? Because all of this is about getting a complete picture. It's about kind of a total digital picture rather than looking at things in isolation. So it's great that social media's work, but then there's a whole raft of other stuff that you need to look at. So you may have started off in you know, pay-per-click and, you know, search marketing, and I think it's going to the next level of tools. All of it is rooted in consumer insight, so there's tools that you can find out where your customers are going to be online, and then look at the options for reaching them. And it may be through online PR, getting, you know, content on the sites that they're going to, maybe through paid advertising. So there's a whole raft of stuff. And there's very few businesses that actually get up to saturation point. I mean, you know, some of the electrical retailers or online retailers are doing pretty much everything. You know, if you look at a company like Love Film, I remember meeting a guy from Love Film 10 years ago when they just started, and he's done everything to get that brand up there. So I think you're probably at the start of a journey, and you need, you know, try and get some advice on you know, the next things, which could well be some paid for advertising or, you know, kind of online PR, that kind of thing.
I don't know what kind of stuff have you been putting on Twitter? Has it been about the product?
Well, first off, yeah, posting links to my my eBay page and talking about the product. I've tried to I've done a bit of abstract stuff, but it kind of not worked quite so well. I mean, most of my stuff's coming through the Facebook group.
I mean, this isn't going to kind of work for everybody, but sometimes you've got to just find out what people want to hear rather than just want to hear about the product. So if you're selling a lot of stuff to do with charges, then and they're doing very well when it comes to the festival season, then if you based your feed around that, think, right, my clients are obviously interested in festivals, they're interested in music or going out, so we target towards that. I think the Betfair Poker are perfect for this. Their Twitter feed discusses nothing to do with poker or betting. It's just an hilarious feed which is really targeted towards their market, which I'm guessing is around the mid-20s, mid-30s group. But they've got a huge following. They never discuss the products or the products in front of them because they've built up this following off the basis of what their punters want to hear about. So maybe try again doing it away from the product and away towards content that's interesting for them.
I think you've got your product is, I think, quite interesting. The fact that you've got, I mean, I know that I was looking for one recently at Glastonbury, you know, and quite a lot of them don't seem to be very good. Hopefully yours is good. I would say that people who go to festivals, quite probably young consumers, quite into social media. So as you say, Facebook's a really good channel, but actually I'd say that perhaps getting actually into the festivals directly, social media might not be the right, you might actually just want to sell direct at festivals, and that's exactly what I was looking for when I was there. And you could combine perhaps some social media activity, creating content around the kind of music festival, link up with them, but I don't know, there's a whole wealth of different things I think you could do.
Yeah, we've just out of interest, we do sell direct at festivals. Yeah. In fact, my daughter's going to have to be today. But most of them, we're blocked out through bigger franchises like that. You can't get into Glastonbury because of Orange. So, you know, there's things like that that trip us up.
But it's crying out for some sort of competition-led tickets and stuff like that to the various festivals. That would work well for your audience. You can't just bang on about products. I mean, the advice I give my clients is 1 in 10 messages at the very most should be about products. The rest of it's about stuff, the topic area, the music or whatever it is your product does. It's more the wider subject that you talk about. You don't just bang on plugging your product. Otherwise, people will just stop reading you and find it irritating. But if you balance it and maybe a bit tongue-in-cheek and you run competitions around, that's when you'll get people really buying into your brand and loving what you do. Like the Betfair example, which I think is a bit of a random strategy, but it works.
I think the festival idea is genius, doing tickets and having content around that. You've actually asked the second most asked question I get asked about social media. The first is, how long will it take me? The second is, what will I say? And the third is, how will I know it's working? And you're on, what will I say? Certainly on Twitter. Looks like you're doing well on Facebook, and I agree very much. You should be running some promotions with some of the free applications. Don't run one on your Facebook page, because that's against their terms and conditions. But there are some free apps out there that you can use to run promotions on your page. In terms of Twitter, written a book, 12 Days of Twitter, and I run it as a course, which is Run on Twitter. So it's a Twitter course, Run on Twitter. I recommend that, it's under 100 quid. I hope that's all right.
That's a great plug. Yeah, also you might want to target from a kind of regional level the pubs and bars, because they're obviously feeder networks for your festivals. But targeting them actually in the bars with kind of maybe physical flyers that drive competitions on your Facebook page or through Twitter might be the thing to do. Any other questions that people have for the panel?
Just ask one question there. Sorry, you said some things against Facebook's terms and conditions?
Running promotions on your Facebook
Well, like
page.
competition?
Any kind of competition.
You can't announce winners, you can't run a competition, and you can talk about a competition, but you can't have the mechanism for it run through your wall or through your images on Facebook. You have to set up a custom tab.
I didn't know that. I have done.
Some loads of really big brands, they do it every day and they get ignored, but there are cases where people can close down.
We're busted for it.
Okay, thanks for that.
Try something called wildfire apps.
Yeah, wildfire apps are good. They are quite expensive. Yeah.